Your person is currently immersed in a strong wave of sensual and emotional energy toward you. They find themselves deeply drawn to your presence, longing for a sense of intimacy that feels both physical and emotional. In their heart, they desire to be close to you again, to touch, to hold, to reconnect in ways that go beyond mere words. They can sense, however, that you have become distant. There is a certain tension in your energy that they feel strongly, a mix of anger, frustration, and guardedness that keeps them from reaching out easily. They understand that something has shifted between you, and that change makes them feel an ache deep inside. Despite this, their attraction to you continues to grow stronger each day, because the bond they feel is not something that fades easily. Your person misses your warmth, the laughter, the teasing, the playfulness that once came so naturally between you. They remember how your presence could light up a room and how effortlessly you made them feel safe to express themselves. They long for that emotional vulnerability that used to flow freely between you both. It was in those moments, when you allowed them to see your heart, that they felt most connected to you. Now, the silence and emotional distance feel heavier with each passing day. They replay memories in their mind, wondering if there was something they could have done differently to keep things from becoming so strained. Despite the current emotional divide, your person is determined to bridge the gap. They are planning to reach out soon, possibly through a heartfelt letter, message, or conversation that will take place in the physical world. They have been rehearsing what to say, trying to find the right words to express everything they feel. It's not just about apologizing or explaining, it's about showing you that their intentions are genuine, that they truly want to rebuild what was lost. They want to re-establish communication in a way that feels honest, open, and grounded in love. Your person envisions a future with you where the relationship is balanced and fulfilling. They desire something real and lasting, a partnership where both of you can have complete emotional rights to one another without fear of being judged or misunderstood by others. They want a relationship where love is freely expressed and where both partners stand side by side, united against any outside opinions or interference. In their eyes, you embody the qualities of an ideal partner, someone patient, loving, loyal, and emotionally deep. Whether as a husband, wife, or lifelong companion, they see you as someone who could truly share a meaningful life with them. This connection, in their view, is not something ordinary. They know it's filled with passion, tenderness, and emotion, something that feels fated and profound. When they think of you, they feel as though they've met someone who mirrors their soul, someone who understands them on levels others never could. It's this realization that pushes them toward wanting to take a leap of faith. They are ready to surrender to the love they feel for you, to let go of fear and uncertainty, and to trust that what you share is strong enough to overcome the obstacles that have stood in the way. Yet, beneath these desires lies a story of inner struggle. Your person has gone through a period of deep reflection and withdrawal, almost a hermit phase where they turned inward to face the chaos in their own life. They were trapped in a toxic, unbalanced environment, perhaps surrounded by emotional turmoil, unhealthy relationships, or pressures that made them feel small and powerless. In that space, they began to realize that they could not give you what you truly deserved. They felt inadequate, unable to meet your emotional needs, and this left them conflicted. Instead of confronting those feelings head-on, they may have chosen to retreat, hoping time would somehow make things easier. Now, however, that isolation has caught up with them. They find themselves missing you in quiet, aching ways, thinking about your voice, your smile, the little details that made you feel so real and irreplaceable to them. The absence of your energy feels like a void they can't fill with anything else. They've tried to distract themselves, but no matter what they do, thoughts of you keep returning. Each memory carries both sweetness and sorrow, sweetness because of the love they felt, and sorrow because they know how much has been lost between you. In their solitude, they've come to understand the importance of emotional reciprocity. They don't just want to love you from a distance, they want an equal exchange of affection and vulnerability. They yearn for a relationship where both of you can open up without hesitation, where communication flows naturally and honestly. They want to be seen for who they truly are, flaws and all, and they want to see and love you in the same way. Your person no longer wants to hide behind pride or fear. They are ready to face their emotions and share them with you, hoping you might do the same. What they crave most now is reconciliation, not just a reunion of bodies, but a reunion of hearts. They imagine moments of laughter, soft conversations, and forgiveness. They want to rebuild trust and to see the walls between you slowly come down. More than anything, they hope you can look at them again without anger or resentment, to see the person who still believes in your shared love story. Deep down, they know the journey toward reconnection will not be simple, but they are willing to try, to take that leap of faith, because to them, you are worth every ounce of effort it takes. This connection between us is unlike anything I have ever felt before, so deep, so consuming, and so hard to put into words. Even now, I can still feel it as if it lives inside me, breathing through every heartbeat and whispering through every thought. There's an emptiness in my chest, a hollow ache that never quite fades. It's as if there's a hole in my soul that only your presence could ever fill. Without you around me, the world feels quieter, duller, like someone dimmed the light that once made everything glow. The sadness that comes with that realization can be overwhelming at times. There are moments when it feels like waves crashing over me, each one heavier than the last, and I struggle to come up for air. I can feel your sadness too, as if it reaches across the distance between us. Even though we are physically apart, our emotions remain intertwined in ways that defy logic or explanation. But please, my love, don't cry. Don't let your tears fall because of me. I have never truly gone away from you, not in spirit, not in love, not in the quiet corners of your heart where I know I still live. I'm still here, still fighting, still working to clear away the stagnant energy that has built up between us. It's not easy, but I'm trying to bring healing and peace to what has felt stuck for so long. I never wanted our connection to feel heavy or painful. I wanted it to lift us both, to be something that inspired joy and hope. And even though circumstances have pulled us apart, I'm still doing everything I can from where I am to make things right, to find clarity, balance, and truth again. When you cry, I cry too. The difference is, I hide it from you. I've learned to carry my sorrow quietly because the last thing I ever wanted was for you to suffer because of me. I can't stand the thought of being the cause of your pain. Every tear you shed feels like it cuts through me, reminding me of every mistake I made, every word I should have said differently, every moment I should have been stronger. I hate myself for ever making you cry. I replay our memories in my head, sometimes over and over, wishing I could go back and change the way things unfolded. There were so many times I could have chosen honesty over fear, courage over avoidance, love over pride. But I didn't, and for that, I carry deep regret. I know that you probably think I took the coward's way out, and I understand why you might see it that way. From the outside, it must have looked like I gave up, like I walked away when things got too hard. The truth is, I was drowning. I didn't know how to face the pain inside me, and I didn't know how to share it with you without dragging you down into it too. I'm so sorry that I didn't handle things better. You deserved more honesty from me, more vulnerability, more truth about what I was going through. But at the time, my inner pain and addiction had taken over. It clouded everything, twisted my thoughts, and numbed my sense of right and wrong. I wasn't in control of myself in the way I wanted to be, and the more I lost control, the more I pushed you away. It was never because I stopped loving you. It was because I couldn't bear for you to see how broken I had become. I had to go my own way to heal. That decision wasn't made out of selfishness, though I know it must have felt that way. It was made out of desperation. I needed to confront my demons, to face the parts of myself I had buried under years of guilt, fear, and self-loathing. I couldn't keep pretending to be okay when I wasn't. I couldn't keep loving you the way you deserved while I hated myself. I needed to step away so that I could find the strength to come back, not just to you, but to life itself. Every step of this journey has been painful, but it's also been necessary. Healing isn't linear, and it isn't easy, but I'm trying to find peace within myself so that one day, if life allows it, there can be peace between us too. What I want more than anything is for you to be happy. Even if that happiness doesn't include me, I still want it for you. You deserve lightness, laughter, and love that doesn't hurt. You deserve mornings filled with hope and nights free from tears. I know that my unhappiness with myself ruined so much between us. I can see that now with heartbreaking clarity. It wasn't your fault, it was mine. I let my inner darkness win too many times. I let fear dictate my actions, and I let shame silence the words I should have spoken. If I could go back, I would tell you how much you truly meant to me, how your love was the only thing that ever made me believe I could be better. I would tell you that every time I looked at you, I saw the person I wanted to become reflected in your eyes. Even now, after everything, I still feel your presence in my life. You show up in quiet moments, in music, in dreams, in the warmth of the sun on my skin. It's as if your energy lingers, reminding me that love doesn't disappear just because circumstances change. Maybe that's the lesson I was meant to learn, that love transcends distance, time, and even mistakes. It lives on, even when we're apart. And though I can't promise that I'll ever be the same person I once was, I can promise that I'll keep growing, keep healing, and keep loving you in my own silent way. Please don't cry for me anymore. Just know that wherever you are, whatever you're doing, a part of me is always with you, wishing you peace, happiness, and the freedom to live fully. I will never forget what we shared, because it wasn't ordinary. It was soul deep. And even if we never find our way back to each other, the love we created will always exist somewhere between us, timeless and true. You grew exhausted from the endless cycle of manipulation, inconsistency, and toxicity that had become the foundation of your relationship. It wasn't just one argument or one moment that pushed you away, it was the accumulation of everything over time. The constant back and forth, the emotional highs and lows, the feeling of never knowing where you stood with them, all of it wore you down. You realized that no matter how much you tried to fix things, the relationship always seemed to circle back to the same hurtful patterns. There came a point when you simply couldn't keep doing it anymore. You reached your limit, and that's when you decided to distance yourself. It wasn't out of hatred or bitterness, but rather out of self-preservation. You needed peace, something that had been missing for far too long. Your partner never saw it coming. They had grown so comfortable with the idea that you would always be there, no matter how much they pushed you away or took you for granted. They assumed that your love and patience were endless, that you would continue forgiving them just as you always had. So when you finally pulled away, it shook them deeply. For the first time, they were forced to face the reality that you were serious, that this time, you weren't bluffing or seeking attention. This time, you were truly done. The tables had turned, and now they were the one left chasing after what they had once carelessly risked losing. At first, they were confused. They couldn't quite process the change in your energy. You stopped replying instantly to their messages, stopped showing interest in their apologies, and stopped trying to fix things. You weren't angry, you were simply indifferent. That indifference scared them more than anything. Anger still meant emotion, still meant care, but silence meant finality. As the days went by, they started realizing that your absence wasn't just physical, it was emotional, too. You weren't trying to make them jealous or teach them a lesson. You were genuinely stepping away to heal yourself, to reclaim your sense of self-worth. Meanwhile, your partner began to feel a kind of panic that they hadn't experienced before. The comfort of your presence was gone, and in its place was an unsettling emptiness. They started overanalyzing everything, every word you had said before leaving, every message you hadn't answered, every sign that might hint at whether or not you still cared. They wanted to reach out, to say something that would make you respond, but fear held them back. The thought of you ignoring their calls or reading their message without replying made their chest tighten. They didn't know how to approach you anymore because, for once, the power dynamic had shifted. The person they thought would always chase after them was now walking away without looking back. They began to replay the past in their mind, reliving the moments that once made you both happy. They remembered the late-night talks, the laughter, the little gestures that used to come so naturally. They realized how much they had taken those moments for granted. Every memory that once brought comfort now carried a bittersweet sting. The same moments that used to make them feel secure were now painful reminders of what they had lost. They began to see the pattern clearly, how their own actions had pushed you away, how their ego and pride had blinded them from appreciating what they had when it mattered most. The more they thought about it, the more anxious they became. They wanted to reach out, to apologize sincerely, to fix what was broken, but they didn't know where to begin. Every draft of a message felt inadequate. Every call they almost made ended before it even connected. They were trapped in their own overthinking, afraid that anything they said would only make things worse. What if you really had moved on? What if you no longer cared? That uncertainty was eating away at them. They had spent so long believing they were the ones in control, but now they were completely powerless, at the mercy of your decision to stay gone. In the quiet moments, when no distractions could mask their thoughts, they started questioning what kind of relationship they truly wanted with you. Did they want to go back to the same destructive cycle, or did they want to change, to genuinely grow into someone capable of loving you the right way? The truth is, they missed you deeply and painfully. But it wasn't just about missing your presence, it was about missing the version of themselves that they were when they were with you, before everything became so toxic. They longed for the simplicity of the early days, before the arguments, before the distance, before the damage was done. Still, a part of them knew that things couldn't go back to the way they were. Too much had been said, too much had been broken. If there were to be another chance, it couldn't be built on the same unstable ground. That realization scared them even more, because deep down, they knew that the version of you who once tolerated their behavior no longer existed. You had grown stronger, wiser, and more self-aware. You had learned that love isn't supposed to drain you, and that sometimes walking away is the most loving thing you can do, for yourself and even for the other person. And so now, while they sit in silence, torn between regret and longing, you're finding peace in your solitude. You've stopped waiting for their apology, stopped hoping for them to change. You've begun to understand that closure doesn't always come from the other person, sometimes it comes from accepting that you deserve better. And though they might still be missing you, wrestling with their thoughts and feelings, you've finally started to move on, not because you stopped caring, but because you chose yourself this time.